Welcome to another, I think, extraordinary Breezin with Bierman. We have
You mean sneezing with Bierman?
I just don't. God, Lord, help me. You think I talk over you? It's gonna triple now, and then you're gonna get really mad, and you're gonna have more reason to be hateful and spiteful. But getting back to what I'm saying, we have Dr. Cherko on today. He's coming back for the third time. He's going to be talking with Vivian Schneidman, medical correspondent,
are you going to bring your love baby on?
And Stacy Hoffer about medical insurance. Words will come out that maybe you might blush about. Then we have
Words like amorphous.
Tom Nesse is on again. He talked about Viax. He was on before, Viax pills. He's going to talk about what he's writing now, publishing business. Then we have the roundtable, which I think will be extraordinary because the painful cauldron of rage and insecurities of my two co-hosts will come out.
We guarantee it'll stink to high heaven.
And finally, we have, for the first time, it's improv. We're trying our best. We're going to have the church lady and Vicky Australia. I can't pronounce her name, and she's a nickel dance, 2 cents change, and the church lady is like, really, she has 3 bugs so far up her bum that she worries about Satan all the time. So it's going to be a great briefing with Bierman. And what do you want to say, Kurt? You have 30 seconds.
Fuck you.
And your mother too. No. Anyway, thank you, and we'll be looking forward to it.
Hi, I'm Vivian Schneidman, and this is Breezin with Bierman. Today, we're here to talk about health insurance with our special guest, Dr. Tony Cherko, a neurosurgeon in private practice in New Jersey, and our frequent special guest and my colleague, Stacy Hoffer, a social worker and therapist, also in private practice. I'm the chief medical correspondent for this show, and I'm a forensic psychiatrist, also in private practice, and also here in Princeton, New Jersey. So let me begin by saying that of the 3 professionals here at this table, I am the only one who's still accepting health insurance as payment for my professional services. And that's because I split my time between doing treatment and doing private forensic consultation, which is not covered by any form of health insurance. So that's how I manage my niche field. But Dr. Cherko, why don't you tell us how you've changed your practice since the blooming of health insurance in our profession?
Well, for people in my field, which is high risk, it's been a disaster. There's a problem when almost all of the neurosurgeons in New Jersey do not participate with insurance carriers. And the reason is because the reimbursements are so meager that they could not keep the doors of their office open. And when you look at the cost of overhead, private practice is dying. The reimbursements are so pernicious that a new business model, it forced a new business model to evolve, and that is employment. So what you're seeing now is over 70% of physicians are now employed by hospitals because they cannot meet their overhead with the current reimbursement. And this goes back to if what is a closely guarded secret on Wall Street is the enormous profits that the insurance carriers are making. They are screwing everyone, not only the doctor, but primarily the patient. What they've done is they've forced higher deductibles, higher premiums, more of the balance of your bill you're responsible for. And look at the stock of the health insurance companies. As the S&P 500 has increased over about 70% over the past several years, the stock in health insurance companies has more than doubled. It's over about 120%. Look at United Healthcare. Its stock is now around 115 or 120. Just a few years ago, it was down in the 60s or 70s. So that's what's happened. Obama has fulfilled his campaign promise that we're going to redistribute the wealth. And as far as healthcare goes, it's redistributed into the coffers of the health insurance industry.
So let me interrupt you for a second, because I think that this conversation could definitely go on. But I think that a lot of not a lot, but many people don't really understand how insurance companies are structured. And many people don't know that health insurance companies are really for-profit companies, publicly traded on the various stock exchanges. I know that my patients are stunned when I explain that to them. They don't know that. They believe that they are being taken care of by these loving companies who have their health and their well-being at heart.
Couldn't be further from the truth.
That's right.
Couldn't be further from the truth.
It's just the opposite, 180 degrees. They would screw the patient first and foremost for profit. If you have for instance, what they will do is frequently sign up networks of doctors, but avoid signing up people who deal in specialties such as cancer or exotic diseases that are costly, because then the patients can't find a physician to treat them.
Right.
They have all sorts of tactics like that.
Right.
They put patients through hoops to get coverage. And this is common. What do they do, the physicians? We have to call for approval for surgery, approval from a nurse practitioner or a physician's assistant. Don't know anything about neurosurgery, haven't seen the patient, examined the patient, yet they'll say, well, we're not going to approve that unless you do physical therapy. It's absolutely
idiotic.
It's
Yeah,
incredulous.
I'll say it,
But
yes.
it's all delaying tactics.
Delaying, right.
Because to avoid paying. Now,
Because the patient might die before they have to pay.
And then it won't cost them anything.
If I could explain to people watching this show and patients watching this show, a few years ago, WellPoint, United Healthcare, and I believe Aetna were caught adjusting their computers illegally so that patients would be responsible for more of the balance of the bill. And they were caught and fined several $100 million. That is the mentality of health insurance companies in America. Okay, now this goes back, the McCarran-Ferguson Act of 1945 exempted insurers, health insurers and malpractice insurance companies from regulation. So when you are not regulated, look what happened when Reagan deregulated banking. Everybody stole the money. We had the S&L crisis, savings and loan crisis. That's what's happened. These people have gotten away with murder.
Yeah.
And merger, you want to know what their profits are? For instance, Aetna is in the process of acquiring Humana for $40 billion. They're paying half in cash. Half in cash. Okay, does that tell you anything? And who profits from the merger? The insurance executives. They'll walk off with hundreds of millions of dollars. Look at the executive salary. I think the executive Aetna last year, I think his salary was $30 million.
Right.
But
Right.
this is what is going on. They've found a way to steal the money, and they've been very successful at it. And Washington is corrupt, totally corrupt. When I see Governor Buddy Reamer on television, okay, talking about the corruption in Washington is through the roof, they have lobbied the Affordable Care Act. That's why we don't have a public option. Okay, they lobbied that. It was filibustered in the Senate, and as a consequence, they have no competition.
So we've heard about other neurosurgeons running for office. Have you considered a political career?
I have too many skeletons in my closet. You think Bill Clinton was bad? I think he was.
So
Right.
go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, I think to add to the conversation, for all of us who do provide patient care, I think it is really helpful to explain to the patients what is going on, and particularly how somebody like you or me or you could end up working for free. And I mean, you're out of network now, and so am I. But for years I was getting less than 50% of my standard rate for managed care, and
Sure.
then a patient would come in and pay me a $20 or $40 copay, and then I would have to fight to get the other $20 out of the insurance company.
Stacey, can
right?
I tell you the worst scenario? My associate and I, in the mid-'90s, when managed care came in, I was doing 220 major brain and spine cases a year, as he was. We had to sell our homes. Our income came down over 70%.
Right.
We had to sell our homes. And that forced us, we were being forced out of business.
Right.
So we had to go out of network. We had to go out of network if we wanted to stay practicing neurosurgery. And we did so well that I built another house.
Yeah,
That's
you
all
were.
I built.
Well,
Built
thank
another
God
house,
there's
and so
some-
did he.
Yeah, but then
it took 10 years.
Right.
But I'll tell you something. In my field, in psychiatry, the situation is even worse, because psychiatry is a new field in terms of the way that it's practiced today. And a lot of the people practicing psychiatry don't really know what they're doing. And I say it all the time, I say it on this show, it's very unfortunate. But the body of knowledge is really changing all the time, and there's a lot of biology, there's a lot of neurology that you have to keep up with. I have a book coming out next month. I did a lot of research. I've stayed up to date. I've already been recertified twice, which, the generation, actually my generation, my year, if I had not had a baby, my first baby when I did, and instead had gone and taken my boards, I would be grandfathered in. And there's a whole generation of psychiatrists that never learned psychotherapy, but that also doesn't know anything about the brain because they were so busy practicing psychiatry according to the rules of the insurance companies, where the standard of care is keeping people out of the hospital. It's not getting them better.
Exactly.
So I am busting my gluteus maximus, treating people and getting them better, and seeing 4 patients an hour, which is the only way I can afford to keep my doors open for those patients.
Shortchanged.
Right.
Well, my patients actually don't get shortchanged. I'm the one who gets shortchanged because at the end of the day, you can wipe the floor with me. But other people, most of the patients in this area are going to the nice doctors with their nice suits, who have very fancy offices and a staff, a cast of thousands, and who don't know what they're doing. And they don't know because those patients end up coming to me afterwards, because I have nice colleagues like Stacy who send them to me, who say, please go see Dr. Schneidman because she's the only psychiatrist that knows what she's doing. And I fix them. It takes a lot of effort and a lot of energy, but I get them better. And I get them better for insurance, for what the insurance pays. And you got all these people, I know I sound like I'm tooting my own horn, but the patients have no way of knowing that you don't get what you pay for.
But that goes, look, you can go to a 4-man neurosurgical group. They all are board certified. They all have 20 diplomas on the wall. But it's not like buying a car. You can go get a Ford with no brakes, a brand new Mercedes, okay? You can get a Toyota used with some worn tires and 60,000 miles. You know exactly what you're getting. But when you go to a doctor, board certified, you don't know what you're getting. Okay, you can be board certified, you don't know what you're getting. You go to one, you end up dead. Another one, you're paralyzed. Another one, you're maimed. Another one, So how can you tell? You can't. Okay, you can't tell unless in a community the word gets out slowly among referring doctors, nurses, other patients, but in a university, it doesn't get out. People go to the University of Penn or Jefferson based on the reputation of the institution. They don't know who they're getting. They're going because it's the medical center. See?
Can you explain how being employed can afford to pay, how an institution can afford to pay a better salary than you can make on your own?
Because they're absorbing the overhead.
Yeah.
It's cost effective. It's efficiency of scale, okay, to absorb overhead office expenses, malpractice insurance. They get an efficiency of scale. It's just like why you're seeing consolidation in healthcare, hospitals joining a network, because they have more bargaining power. There's an efficiency of scale. Just like I don't think neurosurgery should be practiced in every hospital. It should be centralized. Why duplicate all the instrumentation? Centralize intracranial work, and it's better results for patients. Okay, so it's the same thing. There's an efficiency of scale.
Okay.
Another thing I was going to ask that just escaped my mind.
We were just getting our little reminder of 5 minutes.
Right.
Did you see? Okay.
Since we don't have
The thing I
any
could
time
mention
on that,
is
on that time clock
Obamacare.
over there.
Since that's on people's mind, Obamacare, which is about coverage, all right? Obamacare is about coverage. But the trap there is that the reason it's failing, and the reason these, for instance, co-op insurance are going out of business, why United Health is abandoning, because there's not enough profit. And the reason is, to make the system work, you have to have healthy people, young, healthy people sign up. They'd rather make a payment on their BMW convertible, okay, they'd rather pay the penalty, the tax of $695 than sign up for health insurance and pay those awful premiums, okay?
Of course.
So that's the fallacy. And the other fallacy is that people who are employed, that are getting federal subsidy, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I have an example of a woman from Central America, legal here, who her husband got a raise. The elevated income caused her to not qualify now for subsidy. Okay, so she quit her job. She quit her job, and just like employers, if they have 50 or more people, they're obliged to provide the coverage. They're pushing people to part-time. So Obamacare is a disincentive to achieve. Okay, and for employers, it's a disincentive to keep people employed. And therein lies the essence of the problem with Obamacare.
So what are your thoughts on, what would you propose?
Oh, you need a single payer.
Single
you need
payer.
a single payer, get these insurance people out of everybody's pocketbook. They're screwing everybody. Get rid of them. Single payer, and with a caveat that doctors, professionals in healthcare can organize, have a union to negotiate reasonable fees for their education, risk-taking, and skill.
Yep.
Okay, because now you can't have that.
Yeah.
So that's what I think. And
Well
I think
said.
that I think the health insurance industry is a disgrace. They are pirates. They are liars. They are cheaters. They're scoundrels. And a steaming turd is a euphemism. Is a euphemism for a health insurance company. So I've said my piece there.
Well,
That's my personal experience with
that was
them.
very
Yeah.
They're a
well said.
disgrace.
I have to agree. I mean, being in this field for 25 years and having been in and out of networks, they make it so impossible for people to access
screwing
care.
everybody.
They delay, they don't pay, and then by the time, as a practitioner, you chase down your paltry fee, you've spent 5 hours or 10 hours to get your $40 for that one. My fees are lower than yours, obviously, because I'm not a surgeon. But anyway, it's true. I mean, patients are hurt, practitioners are hurt, and it's so disrespectful of us, as you just said. How many years did you spend in school? I have 3 master's degrees. You guys have medical degrees. I mean,
I went 7 years after my MD.
well, there you go. Okay.
That's what I tell.
degree.
And then people say, "Well, you think you're so special because you're a doctor." No, I don't think I'm so special. But they really say, "Well, you're allowed to write prescriptions. That is all you're allowed to do."
Allowed.
And I look at some of these kids. I was telling somebody just today about a kid that I didn't think he was going to make it past his 16th birthday. Now he's 20. He's in college. He's doing fantastic. That kid would not be alive if it were not for me. You can say whatever you want about my profession, but that kid is walking this earth because of me, and I can tell you about 200 more just like him. And that's why I'm taking insurance for that.
Yeah.
Only for that. Only for those kids. Not because of those insurance companies.
I think most of us went into the health fields in an altruistic sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
For the opportunity to help people through life with their illness. And I think most students are idealistic entering the field, because if you're entering it for other reasons, you're going to have a very difficult time. And even if you entered it for the right reasons, you're having an awful time today.
Yes. Anyway, thank you so much.
Hi, welcome to Breezin with Bierman. We're growing in leaps and bounds. I'm so excited.
Is that the name of the show now? I thought it was changing to Sneezing with Bierman.
No.
Again, I don't know if you can explain his actions, and I don't know if I care. But anyway, his imaginary friends don't want to play with him. I've done so much for this. I've done so much for him. Anyway, we have with us today. Am I acting serious? Yes. We have Kurt Taslar, Vivian Schneidman, and now back again for the second time, Tom Nesse. Tom Nesse had a best-selling, New York Times best-selling, for you with snob appeal, as I said before, book, Vioxx, the untold story of these poison pills, so to speak. And you're going to discuss that book, what's happened since, and also we're going to discuss publishing today, which is an evolving, very complex issue. Let's go back. How's it going? After Vioxx, and I haven't seen you for 3 years, what happened?
What happened is I went on a great many talk shows, and I went all around the country, and I talked to a lot of people. Most interesting thing that happened was I got a lot of calls from people who left Merck, and they said, "Oh, you don't know the half of it." And I said, "Oh really? Why don't you tell me the other half?"
What is the basic premise of your book?
Well, the basic premise is that in order to get Vioxx approved, Merck violated just about every ethical and legal thing you could possibly imagine. I mean, they just went and they didn't put panels on to check results. They didn't put they bribed doctors. They threatened doctors. I mean, I could go on and on.
The money was so big,
The money was huge.
and you were shocked by this because you really thought naively maybe they wouldn't go that far.
No, I don't think I was. Actually, I was the opposite of naive. I was public relations director of Squibb, and I was the person who was usually called upon to tell people that what you're seeing in the newspaper is not true. And so when I read all the outrageous stories that were coming out about Vioxx, I said, oh, that can't possibly be true. We don't do that stuff. And the way I got involved is I got a hold of some of the depositions that the Merck people were giving, and I was startled. I mean, I was up till 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning saying, no, we don't do this. We don't do this. And that's how I got involved with this book.
Are some pharmaceutical companies more honest than others?
Boy, that's about the most loaded question I could possibly think of. I think I'll take a pass on that and just say that I think the pharmaceutical industry, the companies are more or less interchangeable. Now, of course, we now have a new phenomena. So let me revise what I just said a little bit with the biotech companies and some of the companies recently that have been in the news, where we had a Wall Streeter take over a company and raise prices 5,000%. Mm-hmm. Now, that is not standard pharmaceutical practice as of now. So yes, there are a lot of people who are getting in for a lot of fast money, a lot as fast, and cutting every corner they possibly can.
Since you wrote the book, what has happened?
Well, definitely there's been a huge growth in biotech, and biotech has, that's where the action is in research and genomics, and so that's the biggest change that's gone on. And of course, the pharmaceutical industry has been very much affected by all the things that you were talking about before, like health insurance and health care and so on. Mm-hmm. Different pressures are on them now.
Bierman Jan.
Yeah, I mean, I wanted to say that I'm sitting here looking at this and my knee is killing me. And I know I can never take this Vioxx since it's off the market.
But you took it.
But
you took
I
Vioxx
did.
before.
I took it after I had a really bad sprained ankle many years ago, and took it for a month. My heart is still very healthy.
You had no strokes. It was causing strokes and everything.
Yes.
Thank God.
You've got to stop playing football.
And stuff.
Yeah.
And again, I asked before, though, no one tried to assassinate you. I won't go into names. Some people hate you. 2 or 3 people, you're like Edward Snowden to them or something. I don't know what the hell.
But Adam, that's not really what I wanted to say. That was just
sorry.
an aside.
I was just trying to get you in the conversation.
Yeah. What I wanted to say was that this information about the pharmaceutical industry is mind-boggling to me, because I know a lot of people who work in pharma, and especially in oncology, and I know that they don't do this. And it is
Don't do what?
Don't make up stuff, and don't lie, and don't fudge. And I know that I am personally aware of many instances of people even leaving jobs because the data was messed up. A lot of times that it didn't work when it should have worked, or studies that were designed poorly and could have shown positive results, or data that was data that showed positive results that shouldn't have shown positive results, and people that were involved with this work that said, I'm out of here, I'm not going to work on this.
That's a very good point, and let me address that point. What you're saying is very true. Most of the people in the pharmaceutical industry are very honest. I worked at Squibb, and I can say to your question, we didn't do stuff like this. Mm-hmm. But what pharmaceutical companies do, and why you find this discrepancy, and you say, oh, well, my friends are honest. Well, my friends were honest, too. I had hundreds of friends. They compartmentalize. Mm-hmm. So the marketing department doesn't necessarily know what the research side is doing. The research side doesn't necessarily know what the outsource side is doing.
It's a big bureaucracy, though.
That's
the US
right.
Government.
And a certain scientist gets a set of data, and he doesn't know that the data points are wrong. He doesn't. It's not his job to go back and do detective work and find out, oh, well, somebody way back down the line falsified the data. And that's what was going on.
Mm-hmm. Well, so when so much money gets invested into this basic research, you want to get something back.
Killer
You know,
profits.
it's not just a small business spending a few dollars. I mean, it's massive investments and something that flops. So it's hard to accept as a company.
Well, what very often happens in pharmaceutical companies, and not just pharmaceutical companies, but movie industries and books, which maybe we'll get
We're
to,
going to get to next.
is you get a hot topic. And COX-2 inhibition, Vioxx was called a COX-2 inhibitor. And I'm not going to go into what all that means. It just means it relieves pain. That's what it means. And it became a very hot topic. It became the science topic du jour. So every company, Pfizer and you name it, they were all trying to get into COX-2 inhibitions. And the basic research had very good results. But basic research does not automatically translate, A, into patient safety, nor does it translate into necessarily what works. It works in rats. We know it works very well in certain populations. But until you get a drug out on the mass market, you don't know.
Let me wind this up, though. Profits were made. Bean counters predicted this. Was anyone punished
The stockholders.
at the end of the day?
The stockholders were punished. Most of the executives involved made untold sums of money.
And hopefully they also held stock in some health insurance companies so they weren't hit too badly in their portfolios.
Pretty pernicious. Misery pays for some people.
Actually, they did attempt a lawsuit, and it never went forward.
Oh my gosh. Issue 2. We have someone right here who is publishing. The publishing business. You say, if I can paraphrase your words, it's a complex, evolving, and we don't even know what publishing is going to be. Amazon and everything else. Can you digress on that? And maybe Vivian and Kurt's an artist too, so he tries to publish stuff.
Well, when we first, Adam and I we chatted about the business and the publishing business about a week ago, and I said, I'll come on the show and talk about it with the caveat that everything I say may be out of date by tomorrow or by the time it airs. And that's really the problem that the publishing industry faces. We have a compression of information now. Books take years to between the time you start to write and by the time somebody actually reads it. Now we have the internet. We have news that's being reported live. We have news being reported before it's even being reported.
Before it happens.
No, it happens. That's right.
And news isn't news, and the 24/7 cycle takes it forever.
Right.
This is why it's important to fudge data.
And then we have
Well,
Amazon.
Yes. Amazon, let me say this about Amazon. Amazon is a very double-edged sword. I've written 2 books, and the problem I had with my first book is that it got very good reviews and got very good coverage, but nobody could buy it because we didn't have a good distribution system. It had to get from the publishing company to a middleman to a wholesaler to a bookstore somewhere
Who
out there.
published your first book? This is the second.
W.W. Norton in New York.
That's that last major independent publisher
Yeah,
left.
very few. All the companies are owned by strange amorphous corporations, usually in Germany.
Was
But
it
I will
also
come
was
to
it also nonfiction?
Yes, it was a nonfiction.
So my
book.
first book was fiction,
Yes.
and I got caught up in the whole September 11th disaster because it came out on September 4th of 2001.
That's another thing. Timing is everything. in
Timing is
publishing.
everything.
Your
And-
research is not entirely fiction.
What?
I'm kidding you.
Oh, okay, I get it.
My book came out the day after the financial crisis. I think one of the major AIG or one of the major companies had just gone down, and the studios that I went in, we were filled with financial experts. They didn't want to hear about this at all. So you're right.
There's so many different landmines.
Timing is important.
Distribution.
My second book was accepted and everything, and I actually had a teleconference scheduled for that Friday with their attorney to talk about some issues about using real places in a fictional manner. Scheduled for that Friday. That got canceled, obviously, and then the whole book got canceled. So, and then my whole writing career got canceled because whatever, I don't know why, because it was a thing. And since I'm a doctor, I couldn't not do my day job. So I couldn't be a writer anymore. I had to be a doctor. And that was a big disappointment to me because I really wanted to be a writer. Which I guess some people would say that they're writers because they write.
I'd say that your income is a lot more stable right now.
But can you
Being-
offer some therapeutic insights to help?
Well,
Right.
first of all, there is no such thing. Well, there is a such thing as a writing career, but you can always write.
Right, and
Nothing
I did.
Nothing prevents you from
and
writing.
I did, and I do. But I think that the idea then 14, 15 years ago was that you had to depend on the publishing industry to be a writer. And that is starting to change slowly but surely.
Well, I did mention before I spoke that Amazon is a double-edged sword, and this is the other side of the sword, if you will. I started saying my first book, whose publisher I can't even remember, but very good. People got good reviews, but nobody could get it. Now everything's the opposite. You can't get good reviews, you can't get any press, but everybody can get your book. So that's the other side of the story.
But there's so much clutter, though. Then how do you break through that clutter? We're all publishing and trying to be.
You know, it's not that different. People think of the good old days of publishing. Well, the good old days of publishing consisted of huge amounts of promotion. If the publisher did not get behind your book and pay Barnes and Nobles a huge sum of money, your book did not get on the
And
shelves.
it's pretty subjective too. They would get a lot of manuscripts. You had to know somebody.
Exactly.
Right.
And a lot of money changed hands, and there was a lot of stuff going on, and it really hasn't changed.
Why can't you get publicity right now? I mean, you're an established writer. You have this bestseller. I mean, you're in the mix. What makes the difference now, where you can't get publicity as well?
Well, you got to write another book.
Well, first of all, what publishers are looking for are very, very established people. They want people who have their own television shows, who are talk show hosts, and
No
so on and
risk.
so forth.
There's no risk.
Right.
They want John Grisham.
I mean, yeah,
They want it pre-sold.
Yeah, but you also have to be a personality. You know, we've got people on the bestseller
They want
list.
Adam.
Goodbye, Adam. Goodbye.
We've got people on the bestseller list who not only didn't write their book, I don't think they've ever read it.
Can they actually write too? I mean,
Can they write? Probably not.
People keep asking me about my new book that's coming out, if I actually wrote it. And of course I
believe
wrote
it.
it. That's why I wrote it.
Did you actually write it?
Of course I wrote it.
I know what you have to do though. You have to sleep with someone. I'm being serious. It sounds like Hollywood to me.
Yeah, I got that.
There's no one left to sleep with in the publishing
Publishing
industry.
industry.
That's a
Nobody
pharmaceutical.
left.
Probably no one there either.
That position has been taken.
Yeah.
Curtin couldn't do it anyway, even if you gave me your free things of Viagra that you gave me in the past. We won't discuss that.
Oh,
so anyway,
you slay me with your wit.
getting to well, look at his bald head. But anyway, so how can we wrap this up? So what is I know it's amorphous. Now my new word, amorphous.
It's
Amorphous?
Not a
Amorphous.
word.
Amorphous,
Amorphous
yes.
is a word.
I'm kind of regretting coming on now. Anyway, so right now, where's the publishing now? We know it could change tomorrow.
I was about to say publishing's in flux.
In flux.
What we are definitely seeing is certain writers are leaving and just publishing on Amazon. And they've said, I don't want to bother with a mainline publisher.
No middleman. Cut all that out.
And some people, some writers are loving it. They're adopting to it like ducks to water. So, but it has forced, yes, a new paradigm. You have to get used to social networking, all kinds of things that you have to develop email lists, you have to develop a blog, you have to develop some kind of following, and it's very different than it was.
Does it help to be an established writer to begin with, to be self-published, put your own thing on Amazon?
Being self-published will get you nowhere unless somehow your book sells 2 million copies and everybody notices.
Mm-hmm.
If it sells 5 copies, no.
So to join the club, you have to be a member of the club.
Just yes.
Catch
I would say.
22.
It's a job. It's another job. It's promoting your job as a writer is another full-time job.
But let's get back to Tom Nisi in our final moments. Where are you heading, Tom? Personally, privately, we don't have to go that. But anyway, with writing.
Well,
and
since I wrote the book, I got married.
Oh, very nice.
Congratulations.
That's a new book.
So there you go.
I know.
Now I'm working on a fascinating book that I wanted to do for many, many years. It's about my father, and who is a World War II intelligence agent in China.
Wow.
In other words, he was a
Wow.
big-time spy, which I did not know until after he died.
Oh my God! So very interesting. Something like Steven Spielberg would love, or something.
Did this shock you when you found this out?
Shock is not the word.
Yeah.
How did you find out? Or we have to wait for the book?
I found out by little clues and little things people told me after he died. People called me up after he died I'd never heard of.
Did you open a fortune cookie and there it was?
No, actually, my father had written 600 letters to my mother when he was stationed in China. Mm-hmm. At first, the letters were of no interest to me, and then because I thought, love letters, I'm not going to sit here reading this. And then I said, you know what? All these people are calling me, asking me all these strange questions. And I reread the letters, and lo and behold, my father was talking with General Marshall, who was the head of the armed forces.
About Chiang Kai-shek in China, what to do and all that stuff.
And he was
wow.
like,
I already know. I figured this out.
and he was working with the absolute top cryptographers
And he
in the
kept
world.
it. You know, I have to wrap it up with this. My wife knows I can't even keep lunch a secret, and he kept that secret from me all that time.
He was brilliant. He was brilliant.
Well,
As opposed to
Absolutely
you.
brilliant.
You're pretty brilliant too, and we got to wrap it up. Will you come back and talk about the book?
Okay.
And I'll take you out to dinner because I want to hear it privately too.
Okay.
Tom Nisi, thanks a lot. Please still get this book. You can find it where?
Well, actually, on Amazon.
On Amazon. Tom Nisi, Vioxx Poison Pills, has another big book coming out. That's been Breezin. We've been around talking about really fast. Thank you. Goodbye. Back again. Issue 1. As I said before, I never know what I'm going to say.
Let's do issue 2 instead.
I never know what I'm going to say.
Then
so
it'll become issue 1.
I just say what I want for the show. It's the show. I want to do something. I do the church lady. So what? We're having another segment on this show. The church lady. I don't know how it's going to work, but it's public access. I'm not getting paid. I only hear from people when they hate me.
It won't work.
I think it will work. And you didn't even read it. So what are you talking about? First you've ever heard. So it's improv. Don't we have great improv
I have
skills?
inside
We
information.
do have great
Drop-
improv
Thank
skills,
you.
especially during the breaks.
Yes, and we should have it here. And so I just said that sometimes I think, yes, what did I do for you? I think you kick me when I'm down. When I'm up, you're with me.
You're always down though, so
And
when
I
we
know I
kick
can
you,
tell
it's
you.
for a purpose.
And I'm always with you.
You are not. What is this, Gandhi and everything? You have no
Yeah.
witty comeback.
I have no witty-
epigrams or anything to say. So
And-
what should this show be? I think it's evolving. I don't know. We only meet once a month.
I don't know that it evolves. I think it.
It's the
What's-
evolution.
It's not. It's neither evolution or devolution. It's like lateral evolution. It's like an octopus. It just drifts out in a
What are you,
variety.
Jacques Cousteau? And now Kurt's pissed at me too. I
Variety
step
of
on Kurt. Maybe Kurt, you should have your own segment.
No,
away from
maybe
me.
you should know how to have a conversation.
Conversation. Oh my God. Conversation.
Did you note the first segment with Vivian, Stacy, and the doctor? It just went so well.
Right. It was serious. It included humor, banter, camaraderie, all the necessary
orchestrated by me.
ingredients.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't orchestrated by you because
It
I
was
walked in the
orchestrated
door
by me.
and you said, "Go in there and put the mic on. It's your
You
turn."
knew what you were doing.
Yes,
I know what you're doing.
I knew what I was doing.
Yeah.
Now
Conver-
contrast
you
that
don't even see,
to you.
You don't even see my sleight, God, you're a psychiatrist. You don't even see my sleight of hand and my backward manipulation. And also,
I
both
see
of you are
all of your.
textbook.
I see all
Both
of your.
of you are
sleight of hand,
textbook
all of your
predictability.
manipulation. Okay.
There's textbook predictability what you do, but it's so benign. It's for the good.
Do you even
And
know
I
what
just
you're
want a little.
saying?
I just want a little appreciation.
We need an interpreter of gobbledygook.
What do you mean? I wanted to crack up. He was giving Sharon an hour-long diatribe that I cut into his sage words when he wants to speak and everything.
No, because I watch the show when we edit
I
it,
do watch it.
and
Well,
you step on me consistently. I hold back, and then I interject with a question,
He holds back.
and then
Sounds
you
like he's
in
doing
the
the bathroom.
middle.
You're
of
doing
it,
it right now.
Yeah,
He's trying to speak.
Case in
Because
point.
I want
was
to.
trying to
It's
speak.
because it's
and
right.
what I was saying was that you interrupt me and keep me from speaking, and that's what you were just doing.
I know.
Fuckface.
So we got.
That was unnecessary.
Did we get real? Did we get real
Turnball.
emotion?
It's unnecessary. But I'll tell you what we require
I
here
did again.
is
I
a
did
little
again.
bit of family therapy.
That's not going anyplace, babe. You can try. Let me tell you, I'm the only one who's. I guess sad to say, my ego's the most in check. I have the. I have the best. I keep this show in context. And unfortunately, and again, you don't have to be like Dr. Mengele and everything. I know how to get under your teeth, into your skin.
For also.
Oh my God, the Jewish question again. What's wrong with Dr. I said Anne Frank the other day. No one gets an even break from me, and but the Jews have to be special.
Yes.
Did you know that? Stuff. Anyway, so let's say your problems again. I step on you. I've kept you down.
No, I was talking about for the good of the show. It would work better to be able to have a conversation where people can talk without being interrupted and basically shut down. And when you looked at that first segment that you did not participate in, they handle that with amongst 3 people, where someone could say something, make a complete statement, and the other people could had the wherewithal to let it happen. You do not have that wherewithal.
The wherewithal.
Thank you, Kurt.
Depends on it depends on the conversation and the timing.
Yeah, every conversation with you is like this.
No. Untrue. And sometimes I have to stop you because you don't form cogent words and piece them together in a time.
The pot is calling the kettle.
But then my genius was this. I said, let's just
Mr.
get.
Amorphous.
But I blend. Amorphous.
I must interject right here.
I like that emotion before though.
I think that perhaps our viewers are not
Yeah,
on the TV. I think perhaps our viewers are not quite as enamored
Who the
of
F
this
is our viewers?
sibling rivalry banter as you guys are.
Did you know that he interrupted you? You were trying to make.
Of course he does. He interrupts me all the time.
Because I want to.
He knows exactly what he does.
Yeah,
No, I
then
don't.
he doesn't.
No, I
but he
don't.
doesn't
No, I
admit
don't.
that he interrupts.
No, I
knows
don't.
what he
No, I don't.
does.
No, I don't. No, I don't.
This
No,
is
I
because
don't.
he's an asshole.
I was going to say something more polite, like his deep-seated insecurities.
Don't be polite. Give it to
I'm
him.
a polite person.
Okay.
You have too much anger and you're a little thin-skinned and you're insecure. Oh, I can't say anything.
If you have issues with Adam, you are angry and have a thin skin. Okay, you're sure.
I'm
Just
insecure.
because I said it doesn't mean it's. I'm not bringing this up. You told me not to
He
bring it up.
told me, he just said you're inside. Oh, I'm sorry, you told me not to bring it up.
But it came up
All
in a
right.
serious conversation right now because I thought we're clearing the air.
Okay, what are you 2 going to name your love baby?
That's somebody else
Them
she's
days are
talking.
over, honey.
That is somebody else she's talking about.
Oh,
but
did I
I'm
say
not allowed to
something I
mention
shouldn't
that.
Oh
have?
my God! Let's talk about your deep-seated jealousy problems.
Who am I jealous of?
Yeah, let's talk about them.
Pray tell-
Yeah, that's great. That's great. I like that.
What about we never got? I was ready to go on the couch and we didn't do it. So maybe now's the time, right?
Now's the
we
time.
didn't have it, and you didn't follow through on
Yes,
that. I
because-
asked you to follow through to put me on the couch and to film it at Julie Chapin's house. It did not happen.
All right, well, I don't know if Julie Chapin sold her house or not. So why don't you call her and find out where that couch is?
Can you put him on Vioxx first?
I'm past the couch. I'm here. I'm open.
All right.
Good. Carve him up. Carve him up. We're going to operate.
Thin skin.
I hope they didn't film that. But
Thin skin rage.
Could you edit Adam out?
Thin skin rage.
we will get a couch.
I want to do it now. I think you're blocking.
No, we can't do it now. We
Why
only
don't-
have like 4 minutes left.
Instead of a couch, why don't you use
We
a
need
bed?
a-
A
we-
bed.
6 minutes.
Okay, we're delving into heretofore unexplored territory right now.
I think Kurt might even feel better.
That was
Viagra,
like
but-
totally not even on my radar. So let's get back to Adam.
You look pretty today. Who did your makeup? Really quickly. It's very nice.
I did it myself.
You shined. And I got to say, Sally does a great job with the lighting on you.
Hey, Adam told me that.
Thank you, Sally.
Adam told me that Helen Keller did your makeup.
And Kurt, even though you do have, should I say,
funny.
deep-rooted issues that you haven't resolved, you improv and you have questions, pretty quickly. But maybe you should have your own segment. I'm just trying to help.
Maybe you should have your own bathroom.
I don't know what that means. Well, anyway, what about me and the couch?
Okay, so because we'd want to start from your childhood, for you telling me about your childhood. I know something about your childhood. I know something about your family.
Yeah.
It was a hateful one.
Not your childhood,
No,
his
him.
childhood.
Yeah.
My mom did love the dogs maybe more than me, but
I know something about, I know some things about your life, but then we want to film it, and then we want to edit it.
it hasn't happened.
So let's do it. When do you want to do it?
I've called you about that. Life is what we're doing,
Let's do
except for
it.
Kurt. Kurt doesn't do as much, but he didn't offer to do that, Kurt.
Because I think we need a lot of footage.
We're both busy people. That's the
We are
problem.
we are busy.
We have
people.
families and life, and maybe Kurt could help out, but I don't know.
No, I'm
You made
smarter.
a
I'm
comment
smarter
earlier
than that.
about what could Kurt do.
Plus,
She's
I'll
avoiding that
I'll
question.
watch it
She's
and tell
avoiding
you
wait,
that
how
I didn't hear.
horrible
I'm
it
sorry, I
is.
didn't hear the last thing.
About Kurt. Kurt has more time. Why can't he help out with this?
I don't have more time.
You want him to be the psychiatrist, or you want
No,
me to?
maybe help organize it.
I'll be your neurosurgeon.
I'm
First
just
lobotomy.
I'm doing I'm trying to get everyone involved and help with the evolution of the show. You brought that up earlier about everyone.
All right,
doing
are
their
you
one thing.
off between Christmas and New Year's?
No, only for 2 days.
Only 2 days.
Yeah.
What kind of a job do you have?
I go to Europe.
Oh,
goes
that's
to
right.
Europe?
I
I
forgot.
know.
You're
I go to
independently
Europe.
wealthy. I'm sorry.
I'm an international journalist.
No, you're not.
It's
You're.
like, I've done interviews in Brazil.
He's
Talk
being-
about jealousy coming. Brazil, Germany with the little Nazis. That's how they tie their shoes. Prague, Czech Republic. Man, I'm there, man. I'm on the streets, man. All you do is. God,
Is
no
it a one-way
appreciation.
ticket?
So anyway, what about the evolution? We have 3 minutes. So how are we evolving or de-evolving or the lateral movement?
I don't know.
Is the lateral movement like going from
Putting it-
jail from the streets? Is that the lateral movement?
So first you had it really nicely organized. You had me, you had the fashion consultant, and you kind of had some serious topics. So we had some ideas about how to do the show. But then suddenly you're bringing in skits and costumes and things like that. Kind of doesn't go with the concept.
Why can't we try something? I tried something new with
But that's
you
what
and it
I'm
evolved.
saying.
If we don't try it,
That
I don't know what's going to happen.
You can try whatever you want. It's your show.
What she's trying to say is
It's not the point I'm trying to get at. I think, and you're over-analyzation, and you want some kind of coherent model.
Overanalyzation.
You're not going to have it right now.
Do you want to
especially
be
when we meet once a month.
SNL? Do you want to be The View?
I don't
Do
know.
you want, like,
It
what do you
depends
wanna
who
be?
shows up, but you don't get this. It depends who actually can show up, how much time I have to actually think about it, because I work with people who need batteries during the week. I mean, that's what I'm dealing with. My mind's a little frazzled, and a little appreciation of that, but it's okay. I'll suffer for the rest of it.
I want to film the makeup sex.
You haven't had sex for 10 years. Well, I won't say what Sally said. So anyway, where does this leave us then?
Where does
I
this
am
leave
good
us
looking.
at?
I think she actually does like me,
He's
but we're not
supposed
going
to
to get
be
into that.
an English teacher. Where does this leave us at?
I don't teach it. I'm
turning-
not even an English teacher.
What are you teaching now?
Who knows?
How to install the battery.
He forgets.
How to keep people from eating batteries and long-term social work. Unfortunately, it pays the bills. Am I happy completely? No. This is a little respite.
All right.
I'm just trying to help you.
Let's pick
I've
a-
helped you. I got you out of the cellar. I got you. I don't want to tell you what I've helped you with, but we won't get to that.
You should-
It's not sexual though.
You should self-deport
though.
yourself.
His bitterness is so thin.
What have you helped me with?
I think we can't talk about it. You said I'd love to talk about it though, but you won't let me. I think it'd be a very
All
interesting
right.
segment.
After they turn the camera off, we're going to talk about it.
That doesn't
Okay,
work
the cameras
for me.
are off. Talk about it now.
One thing I do want is real, sincere, with a touch of humor conversation. And that doesn't really work.
I like
Okay.
the phony stuff.
Well,
All right.
we could be phony too.
We're going to do the psychoanalysis of Adam.
Okay, that's going to be next. I
It's-
thought your book's taking the whole hour. next
AKA
month.
No, what we're
can
going
of
to do, let me
worms.
tell you how we're going to do it. For our viewers, if this camera is on, for our viewers, we're going to do the psychoanalysis of Adam. It's going to be a long-term project. And every week, every show, it's going to be every month, obviously not every week, unfortunately, we're going to show you a snippet of the life of Adam. And at the end of it, he's going to be better.
Wow. There's like, you're giving me like a.
We have a roadmap. The roadmap of the psychoanalysis of Adam is going to be like the Truman Show of Adam.
You might be weeping afterwards, though, not me.
It doesn't take much to make me weep. So
Okay, we'll revisit this.
I would rather vote for Trump.
And I end with this. I forgive both of you for your ignorance, and I forgive you. Thank you very much. Next segment. Welcome to a brand new segment. We get people from the dysfunctional, the unusual, should I say, the outliers of society. We have the church lady in Vicky Estrella. I can't pronounce that.
Estrella, darling, Estrella.
What
roll
a shocker,
your
you can't
R's.
pronounce something.
You're rather hot here. Church lady, you want to talk about, and please all comment, and you can talk over yourselves and everything.
Well-
What's wrong with Christmas, babe?
Well, Adam, I just bumped my microphone. Christmas has been completely bastardized. It's horrible. You walk around and you see everybody with this jolly old man with a red suit on, and his name is Santa. But I think he's actually Satan.
No, I could see that too. Pagan idolatry.
Pagan idolatry.
Would you like to bump my microphone?
Vicky, what's happening? What about in Latin America, though?
Oh, we don't have, oh, no, we don't have names this, name that. We have it all. We have Santa Claus, Papa Noel, you name it. We have Baby Jesus, we have Niño Jesus, regalos, presents all over the place. It's a very, very, very exciting time.
What boat did you come in? What train did you come here legally?
Excuse me, I've been called that I'm a trophy wife, actually.
Well, just how do trophy wives earn those trophies?
What do you say?
Could you give us some purity, some purity, some clearance, some biblical references?
How does a trophy wife become a trophy? What does she have to do? Oh my! I wonder what it is.
I don't think that you want to hear.
I don't think you've had-
I see that you like to go to church too much. I don't think that your mama teach you how to be pretty. Look at those glasses. You don't wear any makeup.
She has a point. When was the last time you had an orgasm?
Oh.
About 5 minutes ago.
That kind of talk is completely inappropriate, Adam.
My wife is away for a while, and spice is part of my life. You don't do windows either, do you?
Show me your
Your wife
wallet,
is-
darling. I don't. You just heard me. I'm a trophy wife. I do according to wallet.
Are you going to stick up for Christianity and yourself? You're being knocked down.
Well, yes, I am. I just wanted to give this little hellion time to say what she wanted to say. Now, tell me, do you have a personal relationship with our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ?
They're not Christian, they're Catholic. No.
They're Catholic. Oh, don't
So
get me
what's the
started.
big difference? What's the is Jesus? Jesus is the same person, right?
Have you ever heard of idolatry?
No, is that what is that?
Isn't that anything to do
Idolatry,
with
thou
hairspray?
shalt not worship a graven image. The Catholic Church is full of
So
graven
why
images.
do you go to church for?
Well, I don't go to the Catholic Church.
What church do you go?
Well, I go to the Evangelical Free Gospel True Church Word of God Church.
Oh, those crazy people!
all, not at all.
No! Christmas and it's a happy time. We get the family together. We put candles, ornament, big,
Sweetie,
big,
do you
big
know-
Christmas
do you-
tree.
do you
Did you get a
know-
vibrator for your birthday? For Christmas?
Excuse me, I don't need such things. I have a husband.
Do you know the actual satanic roots of Christmas, the pagan holiday?
We don't need to know. We don't need to-
Saturnalia, the
we-
licentiousness,
We just
the-
need to
the-
have
the
a good
sex
time.
in the
Good
square,
time, church
drinking,
lady. Forget
drinking,
that.
hurting each
I
other.
don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, no. Jesus is the reason for the season, honey.
Oh, if you're talking about idolatry, I love my plastic surgeon. That's what I love.
You know, you take what the good Lord gave you and you deface it.
Oh, I make it better. He makes it better, but it's.
Kurt has insecurity problems and he's being left out, which has been most of his life. And of course, I talk over him, but who gives a shit? But can you help him? What do you have to say? Let him talk.
This show is hurting both my eyes and my ears
And why is that, darling?
because I can see and I can hear.
He's an atheist and he doesn't get laid. What can you do for him?
Son, I'd like you to come with me to my church this weekend so
Okay.
that I can help you.
I'll take you up on that.
It's very important.
Yeah.
Very important. Are you living a licentious life right now?
Yeah.
Are you having extramarital sex?
Yes.
Extramarital sex?
Or extra sex?
Whatever.
Extra sex?
This is good.
Sex outside of your marriage?
Okay,
No.
so church lady, why don't we sing Christmas songs?
Why do we sing Christmas songs? Well, of course we should only sing the hymns.
No, the happy Christmas song, the jingle bells, that
What
one.
the bells have to do with the baby Jesus? The baby Jesus didn't get
What
bells.
about
The
that
three wise
other
men
one,
didn't bring
the
bells.
silent night, holy night?
Well,
That one.
I don't think we're gonna cover this up, wrap this up in any way. But
She has a future in broadcasting.
I think you have some mistletoe over you, baby.
Oh, my husband is not
If
gonna
that
like
doesn't turn
that.
you off, nothing will.
She's almost Jewish, you know, kind of Long Island with that Spanish thing.
She's had a little Jewish in her.
Okay.
Well, this is
I
very
don't know what you're
disconcerting.
talking about.
Okay, you have 30 seconds. What do you want to say? What do
Well,
you
I
say?
just certainly hope that everyone will remember that Jesus is the reason for the season and to put aside all of your licentious, horrible habits with drugs and alcohol, extramarital sex, and get back to what's pure and right.
I want to know when the show is gonna be on, and what magazines, and what interviews, and what else I'm gonna get from being here.
And when would you pronounce the H properly? What about Sofia Vergara? Do you model
Who
yourself-
is that?
Yeah. She was speaking
In the spirit of the holidays, we're going to cancel the show.
Well,
Oh,
anyway.
so I came for no reason.
Anyway, I'll wrap it up with
obviously.
this. You need 2 drinks to kill the bug that's so far up your ass. And I hear chickens in the background chirping. No, anyway, fucking.
Chickens in the background chirping. Okay.
This boy is so disrespectful.
We'll be right back.
Wait, wait,
Disrespect-